Hi friends, today we are going to discussing about one important interdisciplinary topic, that is, our living systems obeys thermodynamic laws. Yes, all living systems obeys thermodynamic laws. If you go to the introduction, metabolism. What is metabolism? The total biochemical processes that are taking place in a living cell or organism is called metabolism. So what is thermodynamics? If you take the non-living system, the total energy transactions taking place in a non-living system is called thermodynamics. In case of non-living system or non-living thing, the energy transactions is considered as thermodynamics. Whereas if you take the living systems, the same thermodynamics term is called as bioenergetics. So bioenergetics is the synonym for the thermodynamics, but bioenergetics term used in case of living systems. What is bioenergetics? The quantitative and qualitative study of energy transactions in living system. This is called bioenergetics. And in living systems or living organism, energy transactions follows some laws. Law of conservation. First law is law of conservation. If you take the universe, if you consider universe, or if you take the universe, in case of universe, law of conservation defined as the total energy and mass in the universe is always constant. The total energy and mass in the universe is always constant. This is the first statement for the law of conservation. So the total energy and mass in the universe is always constant. And the second statement for law of conservation is energy and mass in the universe neither created nor be destroyed. So the second statement for law of conservation is the energy and mass in the universe neither be created nor be destroyed. And the third statement is energy and mass in the universe are interconvertible. That means energy converted into mass and again mass converted into energy. So energy and mass in the universe are interconvertible. These are the three statements of law of conservation if you consider universe. So, for universe as a whole, law of conservation can be defined as the total energy and mass in the universe is always constant. Energy and mass neither be created nor be destroyed, and energy and mass in the universe are interconvertible. This is also called as first law of thermodynamics. Remember that the first law of thermodynamics or law of conservation defined here on the basis of universe. So if you take the universe, the law of conservation or the first law of thermodynamics defined as the total energy and mass in the universe is always constant, and energy and mass in the universe neither be created nor be destroyed, and energy and mass in the universe are interconvertible. This is the first law of thermodynamics or law of conservation if you consider universe as a whole. Then, if you apply the first law of thermodynamics to the system, as I said earlier, whatever the definition we studied, we taken, that is based on universe, entire universe. The definition based on entire universe. But if you apply the first law of thermodynamics or law of conservation to the particular system, then the equation for first law of thermodynamics or law of conservation equal to delta U equal to delta Q plus delta W. Delta U equal to delta Q plus delta W. Whenever we're defining the first law of thermodynamics or law of conservation, it is based on universe. But if you want to apply this law, the first law of thermodynamics, to the particular system, then the law or equation for the first law of thermodynamics is delta U equal to delta Q plus delta W. So then what is system? Then what is system? If you take this is as a universe, it contains several things like this and also like this. These are the several things present in the universe. Each thing is considered as a system. Each thing is considered as a system. This is one system, this is one system, this is one system, this is one system, this is one. These are all systems and this is as a whole, this is a universe. If you want to study this particular system, it is not possible as a whole. So if you want to study this system, you need to isolate this from the universe and you have to study. So that's why system is a part of universe. So if you want to study that particular system, you need to isolate that one. So then what is system? System the is a part of universe, but our study of interest. So for example, you want to study this system, this is our system, and we want to study this system. So this is called system. So system is present in the universe, but whenever you want to study that system, you need to isolate that system. So that is called system. If you apply the law of conservation or first law of thermodynamics to particular system, this particular system in the universe, then the equation is delta U equal to delta Q plus delta W. Then what are these terms? What is delta U? That is change in internal energy. So delta U means change in internal energy. What is internal energy? The total energy present in a system is called internal energy. So delta U represents change in internal energy of a particular system. Then delta Q equal to heat energy. So internal energy is available in different forms in our system or in our body. So here delta Q equal to heat form of energy or disorganized form of energy. Heat means it has no particular direction. It can move anyway. That's why it is called disorganized form of energy. So delta Q equal to heat energy or disorganized form of energy, and 100% not utilized by the system because heat energy has several directions. That means I have no particular direction to move. It move all the way, all directions. So we cannot capture heat energy as a whole. So some amount of energy will be utilized and some amount of energy not utilized. So that's why it is called disorganized form of energy. So delta U equal to heat energy or disorganized form of energy, and it is not 100% utilized by the system. And another term is delta W, that equal to change in work done or work done energy. This is work done energy and it is organized form of energy. So whatever the work we have done, that is 100% utilized. So it is 100% utilized by the system. So if you take thermodynamic first law to the particular system, then the law represented as delta U equal to delta Q plus delta W. Here delta U equal to the total energy associated with the system, which is called internal energy. In this total energy, delta Q equal to disorganized form of energy, that is heat energy, because some part of heat energy will be utilized by the system and some part of energy not utilized by the system, because heat energy has several directions, it move all the directions. So we cannot capture heat energy as a whole. So some amount utilized and some amount is not utilized. That's why it is 100% not utilized by the system. Whereas work energy, work done energy, it is already done, work done. So it is utilized by the system, 100% utilized by the system. So this is first law of thermodynamics representation to particular system of the universe. As I said earlier, in first law of thermodynamics of the system, delta U equal to delta Q plus delta W. Here W or work energy is 100% utilized, but heat energy, that is delta Q, not 100% utilized because it is randomized energy or a disorganized form of energy. So heat energy or disorganized form of energy. So this heat energy or disorganized form of energy also named as enthalpy. When the heat energy is called enthalpy means total heat energy. This is total heat energy at particular temperature. For example, if temperature kept constant, then the heat energy is considered as enthalpy. For example, if you take human body, the body temperature is 37 degrees centigrade. That particular 37 degrees centigrade, the total heat energy or delta Q is considered as enthalpy. It is applicable only living organism for not living or non-living because non-living things the temperature may varies. One time 20 degrees, another time 30, what if it like that, there is vary. But in our living organism, the body temperature is always constant. In the body temperature, constant temperature, the total heat energy of a system is considered as enthalpy, and this enthalpy is taken as represented as delta H. So delta Q and delta H are both are same, but delta Q when means temperature not kept constant. But if you kept temperature as a constant, then the delta Q is known as delta H, that is enthalpy. So delta H again comprises of two components. As I said earlier, heat energy 100% is not utilized. This is disorganized form of energy. Some amount of heat energy utilized and some amount of heat energy is not utilized. Similarly, enthalpy. Enthalpy is another term for heat energy. Here also two components present. One component is utilized form, that is free energy, represented as delta G. So, in heat energy or delta H, two components present. One is utilizable form. That utilizable form of energy or heat energy is called free energy, which is represented as delta G. And another one is unutilizable form. Some amount of heat energy not utilized by the system, that is called unutilizable form. That unutilizable form of heat energy is called entropy, which is represented as delta S. Then the equation for this is delta G, that is free energy, equal to delta H, enthalpy minus temperature into delta S. Delta G equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Here delta G is free energy change, delta H enthalpy change, T equal to temperature, and delta S equal to entropy. For any reaction, if delta G equal to positive, for any reaction, if delta G equal to positive, then it is called reverse or thermodynamically unfavorable reaction. If you want to take any reaction, in that reaction, delta G, if you calculate delta G value, that delta G value positive means plus 10, plus 20, plus 30 kilocalories, then that reaction is called reverse reaction or thermodynamically unfavorable reaction. For example, A plus B, these two are substrates, gives rise to Z. For this reaction, delta G equal to plus 95 kilocalories. That means A plus B no more give Z. That means A plus B no further production of Z. That means no forward reaction. So no more Z production. That means if any for any reaction delta G equal to positive, that means the reaction will stop. That means the reaction no more produce product, that is Z. So this is one thing. Another one is for any reaction delta G or free energy change value is negative, then it is called forward reaction or thermodynamically favorable process. So if the any reaction for that reaction delta G value is negative, then that is called forward reaction or thermodynamically favorable. For example, small a plus small b gives rise to y. Here delta G value is minus 95 kilocalories. That means it's a forward reaction or thermodynamically favorable reaction. That means more and more product a plus b gives rise to y. More and more y produced. That means it is going on. That equation is going on. So delta G equal to positive means reaction will stop and no product produced. If delta G equal to negative, it's a forward reaction. More and more product is produced. What if delta G value is 0? Then the reaction is at equilibrium. There is no forward and reverse. That is at equilibrium state. This is the significance of delta G. What is delta G? Delta G is the free energy. If free energy is positive, reaction no more happen. If delta G value is negative, reaction always move towards forward and produce more and more product. If delta G value is 0, then the reaction is at equilibrium. And so far we have discussed about first law of thermodynamics. Then what is second law of thermodynamics? The second law of thermodynamics saying that each and every process or living process, there is a wastage of energy. There is a wastage of energy taking place. That wastage of energy is called entropy. That wastage of energy is called entropy, and this lead to randomness to the system and causes aging. Why living organisms have certain lifetime? Because the living organisms obey second law of thermodynamics. Because of they are obeying second law of thermodynamics, aging process is taking place in all living organisms. For the second law of thermodynamics, the equation is delta S equal to, that is entropy equal to minus delta H by T. This is the equation for second law of thermodynamics. If you take one example, whether the second law or first law of thermodynamics applicable to the living organisms, you all know glucose upon glycolysis it produces pyruvic acid. upon transition to mitochondria, then undergoes citric acid cycle and produce NADH and FADH2, and these enter into electron transport chain in mitochondria and produce ATP. Generally, the internal energy of glucose, the total energy it can produce by glucose is nearly 650 kilocalories. Generally, the total internal energy of a glucose is 650 kilocalories. That means if glucose is breakdown, the total energy supposed to produce is 650 kilocalories. But free energy of glucose, that means actual energy produced in glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electron transportation finally. So the total energy produced by the glucose in oxidative phosphorylation, that means after glycolysis and Krebs cycle, it produces NADH and FADH2. These NADH and FADH2 undergo an electron transport chain and produce ATP. The total ATP produced is 32 ATP. The 32 ATP's energy is 230 kilocalories only because 1 ATP is 7.2 kilocalories. 32 into 7 equal to nearly 230 kilocalories. Actual internal energy is 650 kilocalories, but while undergoing glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electron transport chain, produce only 230 kilocalories. And wastage of energy is glucose wastage, energy wastage in glucose is, that is entropy of glucose is 420 kilocalories. That means in each and every process, there is some wastage of energy, some utilizable form of energy. So the total internal energy is 650 kilocalories glucose, but not entire energy is produced in the form of ATP. Only the ATP that is equal to 230 kilocalories only produced, utilized by the system. The remaining energy is unutilizable form, that is entropy. So the entropy for glucose in oxidative phosphoryl glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electron transport chain is 420 kilocalories. But utilizable form of energy to the actually useful for our body is 230 kilocalories. So in this way, in each and every process in living system or living cell or living organisms obeys thermodynamic laws. Thank you.